Call Ruth Maguire to be followed by Mark Griffin.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. There's no doubt to me that social isolation can have a significant impact on a person's health and well-being and on their ability to recover from those emotional or physical setbacks or bumps along the road that life throws at us. Social isolation and loneliness can affect anyone at any stage of life, but today I'd like to talk about some older women in my constituency and on the importance of a service called Food Train to them. A service which is being withdrawn, but which the community, I'm sure, will come together to fight to save. Sheila Alderson is from Irvine, and she wrote of her sadness at the decision announced last week, saying, "Food Train is more than a shopping service, it's an interaction as well. I get a good blether when I phone in my shopping order on a Monday, and we have a blether when they come to deliver my shopping as well. It breaks the week for me. They're friendly folk. They always ask how I'm doing." Food Train also gives Sheila the freedom and flexibility to do her own shopping when she's up to it. If the weather's good, she can catch the bus to the local supermarket. But if the weather's bad or she's not feeling up to it, she can order the food she needs from Food Train. This lets her stay in her own home. And by doing her own shopping, she can do what she enjoys, which is cooking fresh food for herself. The end of Food Train means the end of this freedom of being in her own home and her community. 85-year-old Rosina Donnelly, also from Irvine, cares for her husband who has dementia. In advance of today's debate, she wrote to me describing the announcement as a bombshell and Food Train volunteers as the most wonderful, caring people she's ever come across, saying that she knows she can trust them to come into her home. To quote Rosina directly, she said, "Without a single doubt in my mind, Food Train was the best thing North Ayrshire Council did for pensioners, making sure we could feed ourselves with a very trustworthy and reliable workforce. Food Train is our lifeline. If we can't feed ourselves, the next step is a care home, and that's expensive, and no one wants to end their lifetime out of their own home if it's at all possible to remain there." Presiding Officer, I appreciate that local authorities and health and social care partnerships have very challenging, difficult decisions to make under times of considerable economic pressure. But in reaching these decisions, proper impact and risk assessments have to be done about ending services, and people on the front line receiving them need to be consulted. In the case of Food Train, my more vulnerable constituents, older people who rely on the service, their opinion wasn't sought in making the decision, and that's simply unacceptable. I will do all I can to support the Save Our Service campaign to get this decision reversed, and I would encourage any other West of Scotland MSPs who have not signed the petition or Kenneth Gibson's motion to do so and to get involved and to talk to the people in their constituent, their part of the patch that are affected. Of course, tackling social isolation and loneliness is not just about services, it's about wider societal change that we can all be part of by doing our own wee bit. As the draft strategy makes clear, this can be as simple as being more kind in our day-to-day lives, something that's been identified as going a long way to reducing social isolation amongst people of all ages and stages of life. I was really touched to see one primary school's approach to encouraging kindness on social media last week. The outline of one pupil is drawn on a big sheet of paper, and the rest of the class write down reasons why we love. And then all of the other children have to write something positive about their wee pal from the class. Last week's included the following inspiring gems. He respects the whole class and our feelings. He never leaves anyone out. And my personal favourite, it's like he has 100 hearts and they're all good. What a beautiful, beautiful thing, and something we could probably all learn from in this chamber now and again. I hope North Ayrshire Health and Social Care Partnership can find it in their hearts to save North Ayrshire Food Train. Our older people really rely on it, and it does make a difference. I'll close there, Presiding Officer.